What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel as we continue exploring all of the Sims 4 expansion packs. As we continue to explore these packs, we are finally exploring one of my known favorite packs. If you're in my live, if you're in my streams, then you know that this is in my top 3 favorite expansion packs. I mean, it's tied for number 1 or number 2 for me, and that is the Sims 4 expansion pack, City Living. Oh my gosh. Granted, I did not know that The Sims 4 City Living was the 3rd expansion pack that they added in to the game. This expansion pack, to me, is a necessity on the Sims games. Now, if you're someone who doesn't enjoy the city lifestyle, if you're someone who never moves your Sims into apartments, this pack is not for you. Let me be very clear. This pack is very city heavy and apartment heavy, but it came with things that I bet you didn't know that it came with, and I bet you didn't know that it was the start of something new on The Sims 4. So let's dive in and explore these packs. What's going on, you guys? If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Sarah Smile. I like to play video games, specifically cozy games. I do play other games too, but people had a nasty habit of upsetting me, so I've been playing a lot of Sims lately because as I have to constantly remind people, whose channel is this? Whose channel is this? Oh, it's my channel. Oh, thank you. That's what I thought. So this is my channel. These are just my opinions of what I think about this game and what I think about many other things, and you don't have to agree with me. And I also dance and cook. And sometimes I like to post lifestyle stuff, but that's just, neither here nor there. But let's dive in. I want to show you guys the City Living pack, but before I do, I think we need to go back in time a little bit as I have with the other expansion packs when I talked about them, just so that you guys can get a grasp and understanding for these packs. With all of the Sims games that come out, there's always some type of version of a city nightlife game that comes out for these games. For The Sims, I'm pretty sure their nightlife expansion pack was date night. Their date night. I could be wrong, but I think that was their attempt at like a city nightlife pack. With the city packs, there's always typically like an urban city that comes with it. Back in the day, vampires would come with it, or werewolves, like some type of occult would come with the like nightlife packs, if that makes any sense. Which is why in my previous video, when I talked about the Sims 4 get together and how I was like, okay, maybe this was their attempt at making a nightlife pack, and then they were like, oh, maybe this isn't how people wanted this type of nightlife pack to go. That's why I didn't view Get Together as their nightlife pack. But do I think it works well together with City Living? Yes, I do. Do I think you need City Living in your game to have a good time on Sims? No. I can't imagine my Sims game not having City Living in it, but you don't need it if you don't want it. And just as a quick reminder, after I reviewed all of the Sims 4 expansion packs, because that's why we're here, the expansion pack, not the game packs, not the stuff packs, not the kits, the EPs, expansion packs, that's all I'm reviewing. I will rank them from best to least. That's how I'm going to do the ranking. And I'll also do a side ranking on what I view are necessities in your Sims 4 game that will give you a different feel and like, oh, you probably need this in your game. Now, when The Sims 2 came out, they had The Sims 2 Apartment Life. My memory is a little foggy, but I can't remember if Sims 2 Apartment Life came out before Sims 2 Nightlife. I remember Sims 2 Nightlife though really well, and I really enjoyed the Sims 2 Nightlife pack. But I'm unsure as to which one came out first, but I know for a fact that after they came out with one and then the other, I believe that's when they were like, okay, we gotta keep putting these two things together if we're gonna release a city type of thing, which is what they continue to do when you get into The Sims 3. And that's when The Sims 3 Late Night Pack came out. Y'all, that pack has a certain place in my heart. And I know I mentioned this previously in my previous video. I just love the city packs. When I was a kid, I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna move into the big city. I'm gonna get my own apartment. So when I played all these Sims games when I was a kid, anything that was city relating, anything that involved the city, I was like, that's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go to clubs and da, 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 da. I couldn't be more opposite than that now. But when I was a kid, that's what I liked. And to an extent, that's still kind of my fantasy world, to an extent of just living in an apartment, living in the big city, not the going out part. So my point is, The Sims always announces some type of city pack to come out. In their third expansion pack, they did that with City Living. The Sims 4 City Living pack was released in 2016. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I have pretty much nothing but good things to say about this pack. It is truly a favorite of mine, so you'll have to forgive me if I sound a little biased. Something similar that I can say that took place with The Sims 4 versus The Sims 3 and The Sims 2 is the double pack thing. Because let's be honest, right? We didn't need Get Together and City Living. They could have been one pack. They could have been some type of city get together. Like it could have been, I kind of like that. It could have been one pack to introduce the clubs, introduce the nightclubs, because with the City Living pack, there aren't nightclubs. There's karaoke bars, karaoke clubs, not nightclubs. Nightclubs are on Get Together. Very similar with how they introduced Sims 2 Apartment Living and Sims 2 Late Night. It gave you two worlds that you were able to mesh together. And if you had two packs, well, then you probably had a good time, as I did, with that game. I don't know if I'm saying it right. As much as I love this pack, I truly don't know if I'm saying it right. But when you buy The Sims 4 City Living, you get a new world called San Myshuno. Please forgive me if I butchered that name. With all of the Sims 4 expansion packs, all of the worlds kind of reminisce in something, or they feel like a certain country, city, area vibe. Like that's always kind of what they include. And with City Living, I kind of feel like it's a mixture of like Tokyo and New York City. I mean, there's an arts quarter, there's karaoke bars, there's the spice market. To me, that sounds kind of like a Japanese Tokyo vibe, just a little bit in this game. But I also feel like it's very reminiscent of New York City because those places also exist in New York City as well. But City Living is definitely a lot less cluttered. It's a lot less cluttered than New York City. And I know Tokyo is pretty packed too, but it's a different vibe, guys. It's two different vibes. I feel like the Sim creators were kind of putting two worlds together. That's kind of how I feel. With the City Living pack, they introduced festivals. So yes, prior to the Sims 4 City Living pack, there weren't any festivals on this game. All those little annoying festival pop-ups, they didn't exist prior to City Living. With Get Together, it was like these like meetup club things, but festivals as in like an event you could go to, that started from the City Living pack. So if that's something you enjoy, City Living kind of paved the way for that in the Sims 4 game franchise. Of course, City Living is what brought apartments into the Sims 4. Prior to City Living, I mean, if you're going back then, all you had was the Sims 4, Sims 4 Get to Work, Sims 4 Get Together. Lots of gets. I guess they were like, we gotta stop using the word get. City Living. Maybe that's why they didn't put them together. I don't know. With apartments in The Sims 4 City Living came a lot of like annoying little issues and annoying little things. And there's a lot of complaints in the Sims community about how the apartments look in San Myshuno. Now, I have a theory with Sims 4 specifically. I feel like they purposely messed up on some of these apartments on purpose. I think it was on purpose. I think they were like, let's give them something to renovate. Let's give them something to redo. This looks hideous. Fix it. Show us what you can do. Because it's known that the Sims team frequently goes through the gallery and sees our creations. It's a known fact. That's why some of the apartments don't look that great. I think they're allowing you to edit them. But what a lot of people don't like is that you can't fully edit them. There are some limits with the apartments in the Sims 4 City Living pack and with apartments in general on the Sims 4 game. In San Myshuno specifically, there are certain things on the outside that you can't change. And also, if you change everything on the outside, then it looks completely different than from the rest of the apartment. But who cares? It's a game. Just do you. But I get it. Like me, I'm a perfectionist. So for me, that would irk me. That would bother me, knowing that I couldn't change that. So they introduced apartments and they introduced penthouses. I could be wrong because I was a kid when I played The Sims and Sims 2, Sims 3. Like I was a kid. But I don't remember them specifically calling certain places a penthouse. They might have. I just don't remember. I could look it up. I don't remember. I used to make places into a penthouse because I wanted to be the luxury apartment. Because, you know, period, the best for my Sims. They deserve the very best. They deserve the very best. Always. Always. Now, the careers that came with City Living. Again, this is why I truly believe that the Get to Work expansion pack was their first expansion pack that they released for their Sims 4 series, the careers. Let's go back in time again for a second. At one time, all of the Sims 4 expansion packs worked off of each other. I distinctly remember that certain features didn't work on certain packs unless you had certain packs. Y'all think they're money hungry now. I remember when I got the full collection of The Sims, where I had every single expansion pack, it was just given to me by someone much older than me. They just didn't play it anymore. And I think by this point, I think The Sims 3 was out. If I'm not mistaken, I think The Sims 3 was already out. But I didn't have any of them yet. And I really wanted to play the Sims game. And they gave me their full collection. It was every single pack. And there were certain things I couldn't do without having certain packs. And if I had this pack installed, but not this pack installed, then this didn't work with this. Everything used to be very connected in the Sims franchise as a whole. So with the Sims 4 and kind of the Sims 3, it was very different when they didn't do that. So I think initially when they released the Sims 4, I think they were probably gonna do something similar like that. But they ended up maybe changing their mind along the way, because by them releasing the Get to Work pack before releasing the City Living pack, it paved the way for going to work with your Sim. Let me be so clear. On the other Sims games, that was not a thing until their working game came out. And if I'm not mistaken, you couldn't really go to work with your Sim and be there with them and do things there with them until the Sims 3 had their version of working with your Sim. I think it was at Sims 3 Ambitions. Don't quote me. I just remember liking that aspect a lot. So when Sims 4 City Living came out, if you already had Get to Work, which you probably did if you were playing these games back when they were first released, if you were waiting for each game to come out, you had Get to Work. Maybe you didn't have Get Together, but you had Get to Work. So you already knew that you could go to work with your Sim. So when City Living came out and they added that go to work with you feature, they made it a little easier. Because when City Living came out, the careers they added in was critic, politician, and social media. So the social media career came with City Living, which to me makes sense. That kind of makes sense, right? How common is it when you watch an influencer that they live in a small town and then move to the big city to pursue their social media career more? Or because they're trying to get away from something, they might move from Connecticut and move to California. Or in my standpoint, I'm in this category. I moved from Maryland to California. I moved to Los Angeles. them including social media with that pack makes sense to me. Social media has never been a career on The Sims, because when The Sims 4 came out, that was when social media, like, careers were becoming a thing more so than ever, if that makes any sense. So with that pack, an hour before your sim goes to work, a little pop-up appears like in their phones as a text message where you can pick to go to work, work from home, or like take the day off or something like that. If you pick the work from home feature, it gives you like 2 tasks that your sim had to complete for the critic career, politician career, and the social media career, which in a way is very reminiscent of the Get to Work pack. Because with Get to Work, you were able to follow your sim to work. But with the critic career, the politician career, and the social media career, it was a little different. Instead of going to a building with your sim, it was these tasks that you had to complete. Like the politician career, that's something I did a couple of times for like different challenges. Your sim would go and like protest, or like you'd have to go and like talk to people, and it would tell you to go to a museum, or like go outside of a gym, or go to a bar. Like this is what it would make you do versus going to like a physical building. Whereas with the Get to Work pack, your sim would actually go to a physical building if you followed them to work with that specific career. Now, I haven't done the social media career all that often. I feel like they've switched it up a little bit over the years. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it's mostly working from home because it's social media. Now, if your sim doesn't complete the task, like if you choose to have your sim work from home, if your sim doesn't complete those tasks, then it can affect their work performance and they could get fired or like whatever. But that's where the work from home feature even came from, was from the City Living pack. Now, what I'm unsure of is if that was a base game update, or if you only have that feature when you have City Living. That part I'm not sure about. But I can say my game glitched for quite a while where I never had that work from home feature. But City Living was like the first pack I bought for The Sims. Okay. Also with the City Living pack, it came with a slew of new objects, but all very useful. Let's be clear. Like City Living, Get to Work, some of these packs were some of the most useful packs and the most worth it packs that came out compared to some of the other Sims 4 packs. And a lot of it just made sense with this game. I mean, one of the things they released for the Sims 4 City Living was basketball courts. Not saying you're always gonna put a basketball court in your house or outside, but that's kind of cool that that's there, that you have that option to do that. And I tend to put basketball courts in my Sims houses when I build them like a personal gym. There'll probably be a basketball court in there. That's also where the talking toilet came from. Now that I've always known. I mean, if you just look, I'm gonna try to find that image. If you just look at that toilet, it looks like it belongs in the city. And it's talking, which is another reason why I feel like San Myshuno is innocent or based on Tokyo and New York City. But that's just my 2 cents. It doesn't matter. Also with the Sims 4 City Living pack, I feel like it was much more art inclusive. Like I feel like they went more in depth with the art aspect of the Sims world with the Sims 4 City Living pack. I truly think that. With the City Living pack came wall and ground murals where you could like paint on walls and like on the ground. Can you pick what your sim makes? I mean, kind of. But like, can you design it? No. You know, it depends on their skill level to be able to do that and how well they can execute that. It also included the street gallery. Little tip, if you're someone who likes to do rags to riches challenge, without City Living, you don't have the street gallery. That comes with the City Living pack where you have this little thing that you take, you put in your inventory, it's huge. Somehow it just fits in their pocket, Sims. You take it, you can take it anywhere, put it down, you can put their paintings on it that they paint, and you can up it by like 300%. So, I mean, I have my Sim selling paintings for like 6,000 a pop, and then there are certain mods that make that even higher. if you wanted to. So just know, if you're someone who does rags to riches and you're like, why don't I have the like street gallery thing? If you don't have city living, that won't be there. Also, something that came with the city living pack was the game consoles. Period. And a bunch of like karaoke stuff. I never used the karaoke stuff, but that came with City Living if that's something that you're interested in. Speaking of the karaoke stuff, the City Living pack is when they introduced the singing career. Ooh, that's pretty cool, right? So if you want to make your sim a singer, get the City Living pack, because that's where that skill was introduced. And there were new lot assignments where you could create karaoke bars and art centers, because again, I really feel like the City Living pack was really centered around, or they focused more on the art aspect of Sims with the Sims 4 City Living pack. Not to mention, the City Living pack comes with a ton of lot traits and challenges. I'm not that into the lot challenges. In fact, usually if I have a house and it comes with a lot challenge, I delete it. Because they do nothing for me. I don't like them like that, but they're kind of cool. You know, there's this one trait that comes with it. It's the on-lay trait, I think is what it's called. If you attach that to any lot, and you can attach it to any lot in the Sims 4 like residential world, your Sims are more likely to have twins. In fact, my Sims 4 100 baby challenge, my original matriarch was having so many twins, people thought I had that trait on my lot. And I was like, no, I'm just blessed. The twins just gone. But it's also how you make your Sims game haunted. There's a lot that comes with these lot. Y'all need to look into the lot traits, because that could be a whole separate video that I'm not trying to get into right now. But lot traits can be kind of fun if you know how to utilize them in The Sims 4. And it can even help with the gardening career if you're trying to make a gardener, because they have like a great soil trait or something. I'm just saying. I'm just like. They added in new radio stations, and they added in new television channels as well. There was so much that came with this pack. So much came with this pack. And to me, this pack is so worth it. I love this pack. I love it. The aspiration, because a new aspiration comes with every single pack. All of them. Every pack that comes out, there's either one or multiple new aspirations that come with the pack. The one that came with this was called like City Native. I'll let you look into that. Again, that could be a whole other video. It also came with new collectibles. I don't really ever do any of the collectibles. When I did Little Simsy's Not So Berry challenge and I had to complete the elements, that was probably my first time collecting any of the collectibles. The collectibles don't stand out to me, but if you want more collectibles on your game, The Sims 4 City Living came with more collectibles. And with The Sims 4 City Living, they re-added in a legendary way to... I don't know if I can say it, but the legendary way to like off your sim was by pufferfish. That has been in, I think, pretty much every single Sims game. That's a whole thing, guys. That's a whole thing. And they chose City Living to add that in, which makes sense to me. That just makes sense, especially if you look at the history of Sims. That just kind of makes sense to me. With the Sims 4 City Living pack, you could also visit what they call rabbit holes. So like new areas in the Sims world, like the alien world, which I think was introduced in Get to Work. You could go and visit Sixum, and like other little worlds, like that was something else that was introduced with the City Living pack, being able to travel to like the rabbit hole venues. And they also added in street performing. So if you walk around San Myshuno, you'll see like street performers, just like how you would in New York City. If you walk around New York City, you'll see people dressed up as like the Statue of Liberty or like a Tin Man or something. You'll see very similar things if you're just walking around the City Living world, San Myshuno. And they added in more spices because of the spice market that comes with the Sims 4 City Living. Again, that's not really something that stands out to me. Even though, yes, my Sims do tend to have a really high cooking skill, that's just not really a feature of the Sims 4 that I ever really utilized like that. But if it's something you're into, dive in. Of course, they introduced landlords because that kind of has to come with the apartment aspect of it, right? And they introduced like NPC vendors. The little stalls you see of like people selling stuff, that was introduced in The Sims 4 City Living, where Here's something some of you guys might not know. I know sometimes getting strawberries can be hard to find on The Sims 4, but if you have City Living, you can go to like the Arts District, just send your sim to one of the buildings there, and near there will be a vendor that's selling fruit, and they always sell strawberries. It's one of the fruits that's always there. Just a tip. Like if they're pregnant and you have them go and eat strawberries, that baby will be a girl. Also, I forgot to mention, because it's something I never think about, but I was sitting here trying to think. I know that there was another trait that came with the San Myshuno pack, and originally the trait that came with it was the vegetarian trait. So you could make your sim a vegetarian, but then Sims like changed that, and they made it like a base game thing where the trait was just there for anyone who had like Sims 4 base. So yeah, I really love the Sims 4 City Living pack. It introduced so much into that pack, into the Sims 4 world. So much came with it. To me, it's more than worth it. To me, I say buy it right now if you don't already own that pack. I highly suggest that you get it. Even when it first came out, it was $39.99. Like I said, the packs have always been the same price. Thank you, Sims, because we know how they can be with that money sometimes. Ooh. But the Sims 4 City Living pack paved the way for other apartments. So at one time, before the other expansion packs came out that we'll talk about in my other videos, in my next videos, apartments used to be exclusive to City Living. So if you didn't have City Living, you weren't going to have apartments or penthouses. But then certain packs came out that also included the apartment aspect, which goes back to how I said The Sims, all the packs worked off of each other. If you didn't have one, you didn't have none of that. They changed it along the way. They changed that they did that. And I feel like originally when The Sims 4 came out, I think they were going to go back to their roots. And then I think something happened and they changed their mind, where now you don't need that pack to be able to use that feature in another pack. I know we all kind of think that EA can be a little money hungry, but the fact that you don't really need all the packs anymore to do certain things, it's kind of cool to me. Like with Eco Lifestyle, you have apartments. With University, you have apartments, which makes sense to me because dorms. That makes sense to me, right? And then also with the more recent pack that came out, Love Struck. But those are all packs that we can get into later. I said later. So now that I've given you some history, and now that we've talked about the Sims 4 City Living, I want to show you the pack, and then I want you guys to comment down below and tell me what you think about this pack, and tell me if you would get it. Okay, so this is the San Myshuno world. As always, with all the Sims 4 expansion packs that came out, they are not like The Sims 2, The Sims 3. The worlds are not fully customizable like they used to be. I remember very well being able to make almost any world on the Sims expansion pack how I want them to look. I mean, right down to every building that you see, they've completely changed that. I mean, at one time, every NPC pretty much had a home. Now sometimes they just say homeless or they say in world. And Sims has their reasons behind that. I feel like it has something more along the lines to do with their technology. And my theory on if they're trying to make The Sims 4 an online game, because if that's the case, this would make sense to me, where you can play like online with other creators, which I would hate. As long as it's optional, okay? As long as it's an optional feature. If it's an optional feature, cool. If it's not, don't give it to me. But this is the world. It comes with 21 apartments. When you get the Sims 4 City Living pack, it comes with 21 apartments, which is more than what the other packs come with. And that's because this one was very city focused, you know? Like you have the arts quarter, you have uptown, you have the fashion district, and then you have the spice market, which is typically where like the spices are, I guess. And not only does it come with 4 areas, because some of the worlds don't come with 4 areas. Some of them come with 1 or 2. It only does it come with 4 areas. Each area has apartments in it. Each area has something to do, and each area is kind of nice when you're around it. And there's a little park, which I never really go to the parks. But let me show you one of the areas. Let's visit the karaoke bar. This is one of the karaoke spots that come with the Sims 4 City Living. I think this is a cute little karaoke place. Granted, I've never been to a karaoke bar, so I don't really have much to base it off of, but if they look anything like this, I feel like they did a good job. Not to mention, this is kind of what the world would look like if you had the City Living pack. I guess it's karaoke contest night. You know, I really wanted to attack you with that sound. So this is the spice market area, right? Like, oh, and this is what I was talking about. This is a fruit and vegetable stand. So if I clicked on buy produce, once she walks her little tail over there, it's like I'm chasing him. Run faster, Cannonball Coleman. What is your name, bro? But if I click on buy produce, as you can see, you can buy spices, you can buy chili powder, you can buy curry powder. Period. You do need it for certain like dishes, but there's also strawberries. Oh, and there's whey protein. Did that come with one of my mods? I've never noticed that. So then that's that market. And then on this one, you can order food. You can get taquitos, empanadas. Some of these dishes you can get didn't exist until the Love Struck pack came out. So just letting you know. Also, my Sarah Sim's a celebrity. And one of the things I worked on, she can go and buy stuff and it'll be free. So that's why it all says 00000. Just to let you guys know. Is one of the karaoke bars. There's a whole bunch of karaoke venues here. The karaoke spot is always pretty loud. In fact, typically when I have my Sims selling art, this is where I have them go to set up their little like stands or whatever. So as you can see, there's multiple different rooms. Sis, what are you sporting? What do you have on? I mean, who am I to tell you to not embrace who you are? Who am I to say to not dress like that? But, you know, do what feels right. Do what feels right. This is the art district on the Sims 4 City Living pack. This is one of my favorite districts. I chose to have my Sim travel to the museum. I absolutely love this museum. It's one of my favorite museums in the Sims 4 worlds. I love how it's all windows. It's all glass. It feels very city, very modern. I love the modern vibe. I get it. If you're not into modern stuff, you might not like this pack either. But this museum has like, let's see, 1, 2, but there's nothing really there. 3, 4 levels. And then behind the museum is one of the places that you can do a mural. This right here, you can paint city mural, paint cultural mural, political, or spray graffiti. In order to do a city one, you need painting skill 3. I guess Sarah doesn't have that, which is odd. Usually the art stuff skills, my main Sim masters, so I don't know why, but that's what that looks like. And then over here, there's another spot to do a mural if you wanted to. These are the vendors that I was talking about. So like, this is the stand I usually go to. I think it's closed because I think the Sim just hasn't loaded in yet. That's what I think that is. But again, like, this is what this world looks like. Like, I love the City Living pack. This is not a mod. This is nothing I edited on the game. This is how the Sims 4 City Living pack looks like. And then these 3 buildings are apartment complexes. And one of my favorite apartment complexes is this one. This is one of my favorite apartments. If I'm going to move my Sim, no budget, into an apartment, it'll be this one because it's very lofty. It's very industrial, and I like those kind of apartments. So I always just give it a little renovation makeover. It is the top apartment, so just know that it's always going to be the top apartment. And this building only has 1 apartment that your Sim can move into, whereas the other ones have multiples. Like in the spice market, if you move your Sim into that area, there's multiple good star apartments. I mean, they're okay. They're not laid out the best, but they're like cheaper. They're cheaper compared to the other apartments. So there's a bunch of those over there. And there's this apartment complex. This one's just okay to me. I don't believe it's top floor. I could be wrong. And then there's this one that I know is not top floor. I mean, it's near the top floor, but it's also very expensive. Pretty much all the apartments in the art district is rather on the expensive side. Where is my sim? What's she doing? Oh, she's making a BLT. Girl, we don't eat pork. We do not eat pork. So this is the park that comes with the Sims 4 City Living Pack. This park comes with the San Myshuno world. I really like this park. I don't visit it a whole lot, but I think it's cute. Could things be built better? Absolutely. Can you edit this park? I believe that you can. So if you were someone who wants to build it better, be my guest. Now, this is one of the few parks that come with like a little house, because I believe this park is more like a venue for like events or stuff like that. Even though you can have events at any park, this one was really designed for that. Like it comes with this little, like, I want to say community place, which I'm sure if this was real life would probably be rented out quite often. There is only 2 levels to this space. It has like outdoor seating. It has a little like pavilion, little pond moment. And then it has a wedding venue. So I think that's why it has this type of vibe. I mean, this wedding venue is probably one of my favorites. I don't really use it. And this was prior to the Sims 4 Wedding Stories, which I don't have that pack, just to let you guys know. But that's not an expansion pack, that is a game pack. This was prior to that. Because there were like marriage lots and like things involving weddings and stuff prior to that pack, but that pack goes more in depth to it. But again, I don't have that pack. There's a little piano, and there's even fireworks that you can set to go off when your sim gets married. I mean, there's a lake behind them. It's kind of a vibe. But yeah, this is one of the parks that come with it. I mean, it even has an observatory. Like, it's kind of a vibe. It's kind of cute. I like it. Your sim can even walk over here. They can explore this area. There's like I think there's a bathroom over here. And there's even like a little performing area right here. Like there's a bar. Like this lot has its possibilities, y'all. It has its possibilities. This is a gym that comes with the Sims 4 City Living Pack. I think this gym is actually pretty cute. It has its negatives. There are plenty of things it could fix. There's some things I'm just like, why is that there? Like this hanging tapestry. You know, it's just ugly, guys. It's just not cute. And then underneath is like the showers, bathrooms, and stuff like that. But the reason why I brought you guys to one of the gyms, or the gym in this pack, is because of this area. This area excites me the most in the City Living Pack. In fact, the apartments surrounding this area was one of the first apartments I moved my sim into, just because I love the way all of this looks. And there is vendors over here. And then if you look down here, your sim can't go into this area, but they made like little fake sim people that you see walking around. I mean, how cool would it be to be in like a city like this? This is just dope. This is just dope. I have nothing bad to say about this pack. Like I said, I might sound quite biased at this point. Oh, Sarah is surrounded by fans. My girl's kind of a world-renowned celebrity or whatever. So yeah, I feel like aesthetic-wise, this is one of their best built environmental packs. Like the way it looks, the way things appear. And it was one of their earlier packs, which in a way kind of makes sense. I feel like with anything, when you first start doing something, it's usually like the better versions, except for Get to Work. I mean, Get to Work's features were great, but the actual world was like, meh. And something else I want to show you guys. So all these apartments, right? You wanted your sim to move to any of these apartments, especially the ones that have multiple apartments in them. you click on it, it'll show you a little description. Like this one has 2 apartments in it. The lot trait is chef's kitchen. So if your sim is trying to be a chef, their cooking skill gains faster, gets better, they get excellent dishes, like stuff like that, right? Whereas this apartment I feel like is more a penthousey. When you first click on it, it shows you the downstairs level. Like this is one apartment, right? So this apartment comes with its own pool, little living area, and then like the upstairs bedroom area. Pretty much a vibe to me. And I just love how they show you these apartments. And even these apartments, this is a 2 apartment, and they both have like a bottom level and an upper level, which again to me gives very like penthouse vibes, right? This one, it won't show you an example of it. It is labeled a penthouse. I want to say, I think that's one of their most expensive apartment complexes if your sim were to live there. Right now, no one lives there in this like specific save. I think I've only ever moved one sim into this apartment, into this penthouse. The penthouse is pretty big, and it's kind of a lot of Simlonians. But this one I said, Fountain View, is probably my favorite one that I moved Sims into. This one, again, like, I don't remember it being expensive. I remember it being annoying because I didn't like the way that it was built. Same thing with this one. I didn't like the way these were built. These are the little star apartments I was talking about. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 apartments in this one. So all the apartments are naturally smaller and cheaper. They are the ones that are more like on the cheaper side. This one only has 2 apartments, and look, lot trait, on ley line. So if you move a sim into this apartment, it's more likely that they would have twins. But you can also just put that trait on any house if you want to have twins, like just as is. But yeah, this is the Sims 4 City Living expansion pack. It's in my top 3, if not. It's fighting for number 1 for another pack that we're going to get into soon. Let's review some things that we talked about. Do I think you need this pack? Yes and no. A lot of people call Sims 4 boring. I feel like this pack does add some excitement and levels to the game, layers to the game that wasn't there. Can you get by without having this pack? Yeah. Will there be some features that you won't have without this pack? Yes. But I think that is for you to decide. I think if you feel like this fits in with you, then go ahead and buy it. Comment down below. Tell me, is this a pack that you would get? I can't imagine any of my Sims games not having a city expansion pack. To me, the city expansion packs are necessary. They are just as important as having seasons. And seasons is not one of my favorite packs. Let me be clear. But I think it's necessary to have on your Sims 4 game. Thank y'all so much for chilling with me and listening to me yap. If y'all like my content, if you like these expansion pack reviews, please leave a like and leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you're thinking. I would love to know what you're thinking. Go ahead and press the subscribe button so that we become besties. And the most important question, would you buy this pack? And I will see y'all next time. Peace.